Mo, you're co-founder of Camp. You're one of the main coaches here, obviously, as well. And you teach on average about 35 classes a week. Before Camp, you told me that you played football. But before all that, before you started Camp, before you played football, who was Mo? Who were you?
Oh wow, we're starting strong like that. Okay, so it's funny because I was never into sports. I was actually like obese when I was a teenager, and just one summer it clicked and I lost the weight and I really got into sports. So I was really introduced to this lifestyle pretty late on. Like I was that kid that watched cartoons and ate junk food as much as on every chance that I could get. And then I guess just life happened, like things changed, and I just got into sports. So before all of that, I'm just a simple kid living in Kuwait with just wanting to get good grades in school.
And what sports did you start with?
I started with Taekwondo actually. So I had, I remember my dad took me to this training camp in Kuwait at the beginning of the summer. That's the summer I lost the weight, and there was this Korean coach, and I weighed at the time around 118 kilos. Wow. Yeah. And he just was like, yeah, we will make you lose weight and we will get you to 80 kgs. By the end of the summer, and that was around May that I went there. By the end of September I weighed around 75 kgs.
Oh wow.
And it just I think it was very I have a very obsessive personality, so anything I focus on, like I'm really in it with everything, every cell in my body. So so the moment I started losing weight and I'm like, oh, I like this, I just like like I went full head on.
Yeah. How old were you?
16, 17, around that time.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I also had weight issues, and I think my heaviest was 109.
Really?
And then my lightest was like 68, I think, at some point. Similar, yeah. When you started with like Taekwondo, I would have never guessed that, by the way, that you started with like Taekwondo. I was expecting you to say football or running or something. So okay, you started with Taekwondo, and obviously when you haven't exercised before, or even if you haven't exercised for a long time, and then you start, it's very, very hard, right? So in the beginning you might have the motivation to start because you want to lose weight or you want to get fit or whatever someone's motivation is, but then it's really, really hard in the beginning. Like how was that for you? Like what kept you going and what kept you pushing through?
So when I was growing up, like I'm very influenced by my father. So a lot of the things. So I tried to lose weight a lot of times because obviously like it was an issue. My dad's a surgeon, and one of his specializations is sleeve gastrectomy, which is basically tummy tucks and cutting the stomach itself and to make it smaller. So obviously growing up in that environment and my dad being the surgeon that does that, I wasn't a very great example, right? So I tried to lose weight a lot of times and obviously it didn't work. And one of the things my dad would always say is, if you say you're gonna do something, you do it. Otherwise don't say it. And he kept always repeating that, like if you're gonna say something, you gotta do it. If you're gonna make a deal with yourself, you gotta follow through no matter what. Like don't negotiate, don't find a way out even if it gets hard. And I think it just took some time to click, but once it clicked, it was I want to say not as hard as it should, or it was, or you think it was, because in my head I said I'm gonna lose weight and now I have to follow through with what I'm gonna do, and that is something I apply till this day.
Yeah, I can relate to that as well, because you want to kind of also prove to yourself that you can do it, and you promise yourself you will do it, so you push through, right? And then obviously once, I think the beginning phase is hard, but once you notice that, oh, actually I'm losing weight, or I am getting fitter, or I am getting stronger, then I think is when again the motivation kicks in and you push even harder because you see that
you see the scale, you see the mirror, you see your performance, you look better, like your skin feels different, you start glowing, like it just changes your entire aura.
Your whole energy, exactly.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
All of it changes, absolutely. Did you have, so when you started all this, did you have any sort of role model you looked up to? Was there anyone that you thought, I want to be like him, or I want to be able to do that? Was there anyone specifically that inspired you, or was that all self-driven?
It was self-driven, because I think having a role model is having one role model for everything is not fair, because you can, like, the way I like to see it, for example, like in life, like my father is my role model, but however in sports I have a different role model. In relationships you have a different role model, because you want to get the best of everything, right? So I think at the time, like, it's like I can't pinpoint one single person that I set as a role model, but obviously there were a lot of different role models that I've had.
Okay. And so you said you started this one summer and you managed to lose all this weight in summer. So how did you feel when you finished that summer and you went back to school? I suppose you were still, like, how did that feel for you, like the first day back in the environment?
Yeah, so back then we didn't have social media. I think Facebook was still starting up, and at that time, and obviously I was excited. Like I tried on my clothes. They were all like super loose, and for the first year after, for some reason I didn't want to like get any new clothes that fit me. I wanted to wear the same stuff that I used to wear and have like super loose pants, a super loose t-shirt to school. Like it, and certainly, like, because I always wanted to be involved in sports, so but I couldn't. I was never good enough, and I was always either like too slow or too this or too that because of my weight. And now suddenly I was able to really move, you know, and it was just life changing. And when you see it, like, it's just a domino effect of everything.
100%, yeah. So was kind of that the time when you always followed through with sports after that?
Yeah.
Because you saw the change. Yeah, probably that kept you hooked, right?
Exactly.
So Taekwondo first, and then what came after?
So I did Taekwondo, and I got really good. Like, I was champion, like in my weight class for 3 years after. I really had so much fun doing it, but at the same time, I always wanted to play football. Like it was a side thing while I was doing that professionally. So I was like 15, 16, 17 in that age, like year gap or group, and at the same time you're always playing football. And now that I lost weight, and now that I have that athletic physique that can play football, I wanted to play football. So I just switched.
You switched completely? You
completely.
You stopped Taekwondo and went to football? Okay. And then how often did you train? Was it like a daily thing after school? Every day? Every single day?
Every day.
And then I think football, kind of, you did that, you went very far with that, no?
Yeah. So in my last year of school, I was on scholarship, and that triggered that whole idea of, oh well, I want to get a scholarship to university, and then I applied around, and then I actually got an athletic scholarship here in the American University of Sharjah.
Okay.
So I did computer engineering while I was on an athletic scholarship. So don't ask the mix. It doesn't. But and then I tried to play professional, and then COVID hit. So I played around for, I think, I want to say a year and a half, and then COVID hit, and then everything went to stop. And then you have these existential questions, you know, of where am I going? What am I gonna do? And that's when like I started cycling, because initially I would do cycling during off season to strengthen my hamstrings and to just keep my fitness, because I always wanted to train and I always wanted to get better. And then when COVID hit, I had a bike at home, I was training, and the rest is history, I guess.
So was the did you do cycle because that was the specific exercise that would train your hamstrings? Was there any other options, and you chose cycle because it was
yeah? So
or?
initially I had a fitness coach at university, and we'd always work together to just try to close the gap and be as well-rounded as I could be. And so cycling was one of the things we'd focus on because my physique is very quad dominant. So I'd always have problems with my hamstring. So like, let's say if we're playing 3 games a week or 2 games a week, like the second game, like I'm not finishing because I will cramp up. Yeah. And obviously to be on an athletic scholarship and to be like playing at like the highest of fields in that at the time, obviously I was not happy with that. So I'd always like try to work around it.
The cycle, I suppose, was very different with your trainer than what you're coaching today, right?
Yeah.
So how did you get into the kind of cycle that you're coaching today, that style of cycle?
So in summer, I remember my friend would go to a studio, and she'd always she was an ambassador for that studio, so she would try to drag me with her, and one day I went and I was like, oh, that's not so bad. And because in summer I was here in Dubai, and I don't have access to the university facilities and like everything that I can do, I would just pop into classes, just like it started off with like, okay, so like I had like my training schedule from my fitness coach. So I had like weight training, running, like some minimal football drill skills, just to like, keep my feet like just working, and then like I would do like cycling once or twice a week, and that once or twice a week became 3 times. And then it became, I just want to sweat, so I'm just gonna go to class. And like I really got into it, and I felt it was a skill that I can improve with, because obviously my fitness got better. A lot of with football you need a lot of agility. It's super strong for your knees, your ankles, so you can actually pivot, change directions a lot better than before. You become very light also because of the type of training that you do in that cycling. And actually Kim was the coach of the classes that I would go to. So I used to go to her classes like full on back in the day. And one day the owner of that studio asked me like, oh, would you be interested to teach? And I was like, and I just brushed it off. And I remember a couple of weeks later, like, I don't know, again, like it just like clicked, and I messaged her back and I was like, oh, does that offer still stand? And she was like, yeah, if you want, we'll do it. Well, I'll speak to Kim and I will let you know. And like I was like, okay, waited a couple of weeks. And then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna like bug Kim every day, like, hello, when are we training? When are we training? When are we training? And it was the same thing. When we started training, it was like every day I want to train. Every day I want to get better. Every day I want to improve. I think I talked too much.
No, that's perfect. I didn't know all that history about you. Actually, it's very interesting. How long ago was that, approximately?
2019, so end of 2019, beginning of 2020, like all of this was right before COVID. Before COVID I was doing a lot of spin, playing a lot of football, and then COVID hit, and that's when you start, like, because of everything, like everything just stopped. So you just wonder, like, what am I doing? What's my next step? Where is this going? And well.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. So with Cycle, obviously, and you opened your own studio together with Kim here at camp in downtown. 2 disciplines you're offering, bootcamp and cycle. The classes are very intense. Like you both have a very specific style on how you teach and how you train and how you build up your team as well. And in your classes, you're very motivational in your classes, and you really try and push people to be their best and perform their best. Is that something that you think comes from back then when you were starting to exercise, because you know that you have it within you to push yourself, or where is that all that coming from?
So initially, like when I started to train and lose weight and so on, like obviously, yes, you had that, like if I say something, I will do it, but then you needed a lot of support. So I would go on YouTube and type, motivational speeches, motivational videos, and I watch like all of these videos, and I always had this one video that I would always watch, and like it was the only one that gets me or gets to me. And every time I'm feeling down, or I'm like trying to slack off, like I would play it, and then like you get goosebumps and you want to go. And I think my coaches, that like I've been very fortunate to have incredible coaches from like in taekwondo or in football, and even in cycling, and the way they inspired me and the way they taught me, like the way I understood how it is. Obviously, because it was easy for me to understand, it's easier also for me to replicate. So it's always, you teach how you want to be taught. So yeah, I am gonna push you, but I'm not gonna, I also want you to do it because you want to do it. So how am I gonna get you to be able to do that? So I gotta really tap into something that you think doesn't exist, or something that you think is dormant, and unlock it. And it's either by the speeches I say, or just by generally like focusing on you and really pushing you and making you realize that you have more than you think. So it's a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it needs to be genuine for it to be able to translate.
Yeah, 100%. Do you still watch a video today?
Not as often, but yeah.
You go back to
actually.
Do you remember who it's from? Or
yeah, I can, like if we go on YouTube, I'll be like that one.
I would be interested to see that. Do you like when you think back on all the progress you made, and obviously you exercise a lot. I mean, besides all the classes you teach, we said it's like 35 on average a week. You obviously do other sports still, like for yourself. You said you go running. Is there anything else that you do for yourself?
Not at the moment, like because
plenty. So
yeah, because the way I look at it is when I teach, yes, I'm doing the class with you, yes, I'm exercising with you, but this is me being there for you, me showing up for you. People come from all walks of life. Some people come in to celebrate. And some people come in because they just had the worst day of their lives. And it is my job to make these two types of energies kind of flow in the same wavelength. So if you are happy, you leave even happier. But if you hadn't had a great day, then you realize that it's not that bad. It's okay. You're still in it. You can still do a lot better, and not let it really because it's a domino effect either way. So if you're on that trajectory of feeling great, you're going up. But if you're in that trajectory of not feeling great, you're going down. And it's a shift. So it's just more of like how you're gonna direct it. So I also need sometimes to take a step back and just be in tune with who I am, and just take a moment to breathe and get that flow also, because I teach so many classes, you meet so many people, you deal with so many energies and so many attitudes that sometimes you can just you just get lost in all of that, and you get overwhelmed with all of that, and it's a lot of pressure. I love being under pressure. It's like I've worked best under pressure. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a great thing. It's a privilege. Like if you want to be great, there's a lot of things that comes with being great, and so if you're on that pursuit, you just have to take it. So for me, when I tell you I go for a run, or sometimes I would go and do some football drills just for fun, because it's just me.
Yeah.
You know, and you just get to kind of like reassess, just like deflate. Deflate.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, that works for me. You know, I know some people meditate, some people do ice baths, some people just take someone else's class.
Yeah.
But for me, I like as much as extroverted as you think I am, I'm very introverted.
Yeah.
So outside of camp and outside of coaching, I really like to just be in myself.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Exactly the same. Absolutely, yeah. Okay, it's so nice of you to share all that. Thank you. And a lot of things I didn't know about you. I want to pivot the conversation a little bit, because what I would like to know as well, all the journey that you made, all this growth and all really this discipline throughout the years and commitment to yourself and showing up for yourself. How has that affected your like confidence, like about you, your personality, your body as well, like all of that?
I would say it's a never-ending process of discovery, and in different phases of life you see things differently. So obviously, because when I used to be fat, I was bullied when I was a teenager. It was that era in school, you know, where like you're bullied by the cool kids. So obviously, when it comes to my body, I'm always very like, I was always very like, I don't want to gain weight, I have to watch what I eat, and so on. And then when I started like working on this, it started changing from I want to look this way to I want to feel a certain way. And I learned through like the years of experience that we've been working on is that your body will always shape into what you need it to be, and this is why football players have a certain physique that they all kind of look very similar to. Same thing for basketball, same thing if you're a volleyball player, same thing if you're a tennis player, and in all these different walks of life. So bodybuilders have a certain physique, and so your body will always shape around to what it needs to be performing. And so if you focus on that, I need to feel great and just work on myself like a layer below the looks, then you know the looks will come at a later stage. And in terms of confidence, like just confidence just comes from you do the work, you do it enough times that you just know you can do it, and with time it changes also that you're not gonna be shaken if something happens. So like nothing phases you really eventually. Like today, if someone if someone doesn't enjoy like the way I teach or the music I play or how the general vibe of the classes, you know, it's okay. It doesn't mean you're a bad coach or anything. It just means you're not for that person. And it's very important to understand that. And that took the longest time for me to realize, you know, there's a certain, like once you start discovering who you want to be as a coach and what works best for you, you will realize that you're not for everyone. You cannot be for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. You cannot cater for everyone.
Exactly. And once you pivot and focus on who you need to cater to and who you need to work with and who are you for, then it's an eye opener, and that's what we humans do wrong, like and we're all guilty of it, is that you focus on what you don't have. And once you focus on what you have, and then you really realize you have a lot, and you can actually touch a lot of people, and you can actually make a difference for a lot of people, because who you are, there's a lot of people that can relate to.
And actually become stronger, I think.
Exactly.
That's more of a strength.
Exactly.
Right? And it, I think, also takes a lot of growth to get to the stage to realize that, because I do think, like you said, a lot of people will beat themselves down over that. They'll be like, oh my God, this person, you know, said this, or this person doesn't want that, and they will beat themselves up. Yeah, absolutely. Do you think that there is a lot of, especially men, that kind of go through similar things, but really struggle to, you know, kind of find the strength or motivation or discipline, either kind of to push themselves out of that. So they're in a phase in their life where, and this can be physically, this can be, you know, with their job in an unhappy state of whatever. It could be physics, it could be job, it could be a relationship, and they don't, you know, they really don't have the mentality or strength to pull themselves out of it. What would you kind of tell a person like that?
I think,
what advice would you give?
The worst place you can be is where you are right now. So if you try and step out of that and it doesn't work out, you go back to where you are. So anything at this point can be better.
Yeah.
And the mind is very wired that you're not gonna change unless you have to change. Yeah. Like, so so change is inevitable, whether you like it or not. So you're either gonna change out of inspiration because you want to be better and you want to always keep on improving, or you're gonna change out of desperation because you are really
forced to.
You know, you like, and you will notice in a lot of stories that people will tell you, oh, like after I lost this person, I changed, or after I moved countries, I changed, or I switched jobs, or I went through a breakup. Like that was my, you know, like, and you don't have to go through something terrible for you to grow, because you're gonna change. Like, you're not the same person you are today as like you even were last year, you know, or a couple of years ago, or when you were a teenager. So we're always kind of learning and developing, and that's by default. That's in our genetic settings. So don't try to hold on to that, you know, like that feeling, just because you're afraid of change, or afraid of, you know, like you might have 10% currently going for you, and you're just holding on to that and hoping for the rest to change. Just, I mean, honestly, let go, you know. Life isn't so bad. Like, life is not trying to work against you, and it's not coming at you. The very reason we exist gives life meaning. So in a way, you can look at it as life comes from you. And when you start to think about it like that, and you were saying, when you start to look at things from that perspective, you attract the same thing. So what you give is what you get. So now, right now, you're giving that I am life, and life comes from me, and like life, like whatever I'm going through is for my best interest, for my own benefit. And then suddenly you start, because you see things differently, the way things come at you are now different.
You remember you mentioned that sometimes in your class, when you do like some kind of motivational or inspirational like kind of talks in between, and I think that's something that's like super important, is how you view things. And even if you've thrown a challenge, you know, however you think how bad it is in that moment, it's something that will, you know, you can take it as, oh my God, this is happening to me, and poor me because of all this, what am I going to do, right? Or you can look at it like, okay, I've been faced with this challenge. What do I do with this? How do I get out of it? How do I use whatever happened kind of as an opportunity to turn this around and change my life in some sort of way, like change my job, or, you know, become better at what I do, or maybe it forces me to completely pivot in life and do something else, but it's always for the better. It's something, like you said, it will make you grow and make you progress in life versus being stagnant. And I think you also mentioned before, like the worst thing that can happen is if you're like,
you just stay where you are.
Stay where you are, exactly.
So just try.
And
you never know, because you really never know. Like today I am where I am. Like, we have camp, and I'm able to do what I do today because when my friend was dragging me to class, I was just like, oh, okay, fine, why not? Like, I'm just gonna I'm gonna let you drag me, like, you know, and like, thank God. Like, imagine if I didn't do any of that. So you just never know. And at least if you try, at least then you know. This is not something I want, or this is not something that works for me, and then you can do something else, but doing nothing is just not a solution. Like things are not going to change because you decided to just stand still.
Are you a person, because you're always like looking to progress and to be better in some sort of aspect of life, are you a person that you sit down and you set yourself goals, or do you kind of let things progress naturally, or how do you plan your own progression, or do you plan it at all, or how do you?
I have an idea of what I want to do, but an exact plan of how to get there, not really. It's more of like, I think this is the goal. I'm just gonna put one step at a time, and then once I take that step, so what do I need to do now? What's the first thing I need to do? Once I do that, the next steps presents itself to me.
They will come.
And that's how it works for me. I mean, like it might be different for you, it might be different for someone else, but for me, I just really need to say, okay, like, so one, I'm gonna, let's say, work on posting more videos on Instagram, for example. And then once I have like more videos, then, something
which
will pop.
Doing.
Something will, and you just need to worry about that first step. But eventually there is, like, obviously you have to be intentional with everything you do. So there is direction, because otherwise you can, you can be, if you just go with the flow could be just running in circles, and you're just staying in the same place, you're just going around. So the most important thing is just to have an idea, at least like direction, like, okay, I'm gonna do that, or at least like recently I've watched this podcast, and it was like, maybe you don't know what you want, but we all definitely know what we don't want. So if you move away from that, at least you're moving in a direction. So even if you don't know where you're going, if you're moving away from what you don't want, then there is a direction that you're moving towards.
I think that's definitely true. Because you either flip it this way or the other, and it will go somewhere.
Exactly.
It will go somewhere, 100%. Do you have any advice that you would give to someone that currently feels like stuck in any aspect of their life? Like, what would you, if like a friend would come to you and say, I feel stuck, like with my job or with my fitness, what would you tell them to do?
I think life is too short for you to wake up and think, oh, I can't wait for this day to be over. So just find a way, or figure out a way. Maybe you can stay in the same place and do the same things, but have a different attitude. And I've learned this, like you will make mistakes. Like I've made so many mistakes. No one's perfect. It's how you learn and try to figure things out, like it's you just have to kind of move, so just do something that you're excited to wake up for, like do something that when I wake up in the morning, like even if I'm tired, even if I'm not in the mood, like I want to come and teach, or I want to make my business successful, or I want to try and help, there needs to be something that gets you out of bed.
Drive,
So that could, and that could be any small thing, it could be as small as like, oh, I'm going to meet someone, or when I see someone at work, I'm excited, like these small little things. And again, like for me, it's like the direction. So one step at a time, you get that, and then once that figures out and there's a change in your attitude, maybe you might get a job offer somewhere else. Maybe you might get a promotion, maybe you might get this, maybe you get introduced to that person which introduces you, you get it? Like doors open up when you try.
And I think you also see those doors opening when you try, because you're focusing on trying on changing something, right? And then you see these doors opening that maybe were there before, but you just didn't.
Exactly.
What is kind of next for Mo? What are kind of your next aspirations, goals, objections?
For me, the goal remains the same. The legacy that I want to leave behind is that I was able to help out as many people as I could be the best that they can be. And that's the goal. So that's what's next. Hopefully, for us to grow as a company and be able to reach more people so that we leave an impact, just try to do good as much as we can, and try to be better as much as we can. So that's next. That's always gonna be next. And I think because of our nature and what we do, it's never gonna be enough. So hopefully one day when we reach out the maximum number of people here in Dubai, we wanna grow more and reach different countries, reach different regions, and hopefully be able to really touch, because we were all born equal. Everybody has the potential to be great, but sometimes people need help to tap into it or to unlock it. And someone once upon a time, not that I'm saying that I am, but someone helped me unlock that fire in me to try and to be great at what I do. And I want to do that for as many people as I could, because if we all try to be better, then the world is going to be a better place. Who doesn't want that?
And who doesn't want to be better than yesterday? I have kind of one last question for you, and I'm really interested to hear your thoughts and answer on that. So if you were to sit right now in front of 15 or 14-year-old Mo from back then, what would you tell him? What advice would you tell him?
Wow. Very, very interesting. Just that you're good. You will make a lot of mistakes. You will go through a lot of shit. But it'll be okay. You will get there. And if the future me will come back, and I want that future me to tell me the same thing. Just keep going. Just don't stop. Never stop moving. Just keep trying, and you never know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
come train at camp. Thank you so much, Mo, for sharing all that.
Thank you very much. Let's do it.